Ladies and gentlemen, we are the bad boys. Before we begin, we'd like to get to know you, our audience. If you've had a great time here at DroidCon so far, just raise your hand. Raise your hand. Well, that's flippin' lucky. Good. Imagine if nobody put their hands up like, it's garbage. What about if you've come to DroidCon Berlin from outside of Germany, raise your hands. Okay, cool. Willkommen. 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 That means enjoy our presentation or something like that. Okay, what about more on-topic questions?
Yep.
If you know what Android is, put your left foot high in the air. Left foot high in the air, like that. Okay, couple, but not as many as I was expecting. This is it's an Android dev conference.
Should be, right? Yeah. Try again.
It's probably just how I've asked it. It's probably my fault. Let's try another one. A couple of you had your feet up. If you've ever coded an app, do a backflip. Like just flip over backwards.
Nobody?
Like this.
Not doing it.
Okay, well, thank God we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to better Android development, or in short, obviously, bad. But it's really important that we say it's not bad like in a negative kind of bad. It's like streets bad, like what's Budman? Like that kind of bad. We were toying with the idea of calling it Supreme Android Development from Android Certified Experts, but for the life of us, we couldn't make heads or tails of the acronym. SADF, ACE?
Yeah, the ACE part was nice.
ACE made sense, but SADF is nothing. Okay. Anyway, bad. Just for the record, and for legal reasons, we need to address the elephant in the room. There's these characters, Chet, Hass, and Romagi, that sort of go around. They do a sort of talk that's quite funny. It's important. This talk will not be funny, and you'll have no fun at all. And as well, for legal reasons, we have to state we are not them. We are not trying to be them. We are not trying to replace them. So let's introduce ourselves. I, of course, am Het Cass. I am the superior, honorable Android technician everywhere. I spend most of my life turning devices off and on again.
And I am Goman Rhee. Let's go on. The principal optimistic operations prophet. What I do is I go around the company and spread positivity and optimism. Together, we are the world-renowned Android self-certified experts. I want to highlight the self-certified part. For this, we brought our certificates with us. You can see. And not only that, but we have the industry-leading 60 years of combined Android experience. It's amazing. No one comes even close to that. Not even these guys, Chet and Roman. Speaking of them, we want to highlight that they are not certified. So I want to be clear on that.
It's very easy for us to stand up here and say how certified we are. We'd like to prove it by showing you some of our portfolio, some of the apps that we've had the pleasure of working on. To start with, one of my very favorites, Paint Calculator. It calculates paint, but also, as a side note, it completes your tax return form.
Yeah, for the second one, we saw that online markets have a lot of potential, but they're quite hard to navigate on a small screen. So that's why I designed this app. It's only one screen, where an AI decides what you're going to buy.
If you like that one, you'll love this one. This is called the Happy Time Forums, and is essentially a list of positive affirmations. Now, fun fact, our designer was constantly high on LSD. So we had to design this app ourselves.
No,
oops, sorry. Clickies.
And not to brag too much, but we were the visionaries behind this amazing social network product that was just way ahead of its time. Google Plus. Oh. Still hurts.
Rest in peace.
All right, before we jump into the presentation, let's talk what actually better Android development is. In short, it's a collection of some bad tips, some bad decisions, no regrets at all. And what this means for you is that your bad apps are going to make you a shit ton of money, because we know that's the most important thing at the end of the day. If you're not convinced why, here, with money, you can buy computers that look like kitchen utensils, boats that look like swans, and rocket ships that look like hot dog?
Cigar?
Cigar with a beanie, right?
Yeah.
Nothing, yeah. Right. Let's just jump right into it. Preparing your workspace. setting you up for success. Here we see a normal Android developer in their natural habitat, just fixing some Dagger issues while having one too many cups of coffee. But the problem is already quite evident, isn't it? It's way too bright. That's not how developers work. You see, they get eye strain looking at the dark screen. They lose focus. Their back pain will come back. We don't want to go down further this road. So we sat down and we came up with a solution. Introducing the bad box for bad Android developers. It's basically big enough for you to fit your laptop inside, some coffee mugs, and then when the time is right, you can just close the lid and start coding. We got some amazing feedback in the beginning, but quite fast there was a feature request. People weren't happy they couldn't watch someone code for 8 hours and get paid for it. So we went back to the drawing board and created a second opening on the top. Amazing, we got amazing feedback, but there are some usability issues. Which one, with 2 openings, where should the main developer go? So we decided to name them. First one was the front door, quite self-explanatory. But the term backdoor had a vulgar meaning. We like to keep it family-friendly. So we thought a bit, and then it's also more of a hole on the top than the opening, so yeah. We weren't that creative, so we decided to go with a simple name, a hole. With this naming, all the usability issues went away. The developers could watch everybody code, and when the time is right, they can even point something on the screen, touch the keyboard, even touch the developer if they want. Just before you do the last one, be sure to notify them. Otherwise, it is a GDPR complaint. Your whole company needs to do one more training. We don't want this. So we designed the second option, which is to bury your face in the a-hole and scream as loud as you can. Thanks to our industry-leading soundproofing, no one else around you will be distracted. Right. We see already like the box. So we brought some with us today. You can actually buy after the talk for $99.99 toilet paper rolls. We don't like fiat currency. We like something more tangible that we can use. Just be sure to 3 or 4 play. Anything else just brings back bad memories.
Next, we need to address activities. Of course, they're the bread and butter in our world. Let's begin very quickly by showing you a bad activity. Here is a bad activity. This is the terrible activity, my main activity KT from an app called Now in Android. You can see there's several issues immediately. One, everything you see on that screen is the entire content of that file. It's not verbose at all. You have those weird things at the top in yellow. They're like weird half-completed email addresses. Really confusing. We tried emailing them. Nobody replied. We also have this NIA app thing over there. It's a function. It doesn't exist in this file. You have to go to a different file to understand what that is. What a waste of time. And these things, these gray slashes with these lines here, they're called code comments. They're an entire waste of space. That is a bad activity. Now, let me show you a bad activity. Bad. This is a good activity. Immediately, you can see everything you need to from that activity. The whole file is on the well, in this case, the whole file isn't all on the screen. We've got the ellipses, but it's just because it's so big and girthy, this file, it needed extra space. But what I'm trying to say is that every variable, every function, you know where it is. It's somewhere in that file. There's no code comments stuffing up the place. And of course, this brings us on to one of our first recommendations. We do recommend the single activity approach, but probably not how you think it. We recommend just one activity, and you put everything into that single activity. I'm talking your repositories, your use cases, your services, your family, all of it go into that single activity file. That is a good activity. Life cycle. I can hear you screaming it. Very important. Yes, life cycle. Yep. Probably a couple of you recognize this diagram from your Google searches in order to understand life cycle. This diagram is wrong, and we reject it entirely. In fact, it's missing several of the key life cycle methods that are very important to an Android developer. So let us take you through the real life cycle. When your app icon and a finger come into contact, They spend a night of passionate, unbridled lust together. Several months later, the Android operating system gives birth to your app, and of course, On Create is hit. As the time passes, your app ages a bit. Of course, it hits On Santa, On Discover Santa Not Real. Traumatic experience, but necessary. Time goes by, and On Take Student Loans is hit. That's a very resource-expensive task. And if your app gets real lucky, it might just hit On Marriage. And fun fact, On Marriage can actually be hit multiple times throughout the life cycle. This line denotes that the user can now interact with your app, and when they're done with it, and the app needs to go away, the app starts to get a bit old, a bit slower, a bit couch potato-y, loses some hair, gets a bit fat. The strain of dealing with a real-life relationship takes its toll, and On Divorce, of course, gets hit. Sharon comes into the courtroom. She hires a very expensive lawyer. She takes the kids away from you. Why'd you do it, Sharon?
Hey, wait, it's all right. We talked about this.
Yep.
Yeah. Moving on.
Your app becomes a bit decrepit and old. The Android operating system comes along with a meat cleaver, slices it into tiny pieces, and distributes its body back into the ecosystem with On Destroy. But fun fact, On Repay Student Loans was never hit. Take that.
Right, moving to UI development. Android has a lot of options here, so we're here to help you choose which one to go for. For this, we use the OG notation, which stands for objectively gorgeous, because that's how I want our UI to look like. Let's just jump into it with the first one, find view by ID. The original, we like to call it the Snoop Dogg of Android views. No, it's been there since the beginning. Nobody really wants to mess up with it. It has the benefit of being vintage. What this means is it attracts hipster developers to your company. But the other side, they might start philosophical conversations about living in the past, and this reduces productivity, so keep that in mind. Next, we have Butter Knife. And all you need to know about it is that it's done by the great Jake Wharton. Praise be the great Wharton!
Biggest applause we're going to get.
It's not about us. Yeah. It might make your laptop a bit slower when you program, but you can always complain to management about the faster MacBook, so we don't really count this as an issue. Moving on to Kotlin synthetics, the crowd favorite, which was basically the to-go solution until it got deprecated for no reason. Kind of like Google+. So sad. And it doesn't really have a bad size, right? Like, why would everybody use it otherwise? It's logic. Moving on to data binding. I don't know how this is not deprecated. Right. The other side of the coin, view binding, which we like to call the Pepsi of Android views. Why? You're only using it because synthetics got deprecated and you couldn't move to compose. But on the other side, it's actually good. It's an easy recommendation for us, not that much. It's got a lot going for it. And to the last option, compose, the new kid on the block. Somebody already know how to use it. Others say they think they know how to use it. But what we like the most about it is that it's new, so it won't get deprecated in the next 6 to 12 months. But on the other side, what happened to XML? All right? We spent 60 years with XML, and now it's gone. Don't worry. We have a separate talk about XML. It's coding compose in XML, but we couldn't get a time slot at this venue, so we moved it to this Sunday. Right.
Berlin is there.
Right, what's the best solution? There's so many options. Like the OG notation wasn't that linear. So in the bad approach, we advise you to diversify. Just like you do with your stock portfolio. Just you don't want to lose all your views at once the next time something's got deprecated. But having said that, just please avoid data binding. And this is not a joke, just cross it.
Powerful stuff. We have to talk about architecture. You can't move in Android development without getting slapped in the face with some sort of MVVM, MVP, MVC, NBA, QMVC. It's nonsense. It's chaos in this world at the moment. And in fact, you'll often see diagrams in architecture that try and make things easier to understand. You've got, for example, this onion one. You have the lasagna one. You have the pizza one. And you have the vegetable lasagna one. What we're trying to say is that architecture currently is very difficult and overly complicated. So we in the Bad Approach did you all a favor, and we designed our own architecture pattern. But before I tell you about it, I want to take you on the journey of how we got there, because it's quite wonderful. We started with a whiteboard. We wrote the word bad, and we flipped the whiteboard over, and we got DAB. DAB wasn't it, but it was close. We then sat and talked. What is architecture? Why are we here? Why did we become Android developers? What have we done? We just want to live. Live was almost there. But then we noticed if you put live in italics, you get live. And then if you flip live, you get evil. Evil was the door that we needed to open. What does it stand for? Glad you asked. E. Recursive acronym, baby. E stands for evil, GNU and stuff. V for venue. I, intergalactically. L, located. Then we sat, we stared each other deep in the eyes. We said, what's an evil venue that's intergalactically located? And then bam, it hit us. That's no moon. Ladies and gentlemen, today we unveil Death Star architecture. Thank you. Thank you. There's two main benefits to Death Star architecture over all other architecture patterns. One, it is a fully armed and operational battle station, even when destroyed. Meaning that your app can be riddled with bugs and it'll still work. Or you can stray as far away as you like from the architecture pattern and it will still technically be Death Star architecture. That's number one. Second, massive, really important point, it's a cool-ass name. But we can't just throw Death Star architecture at you without a diagram, so let's quickly paint the diagram up, make it easier to understand. We've got the presentation layer. We've already discussed it's just one big activity, so everything goes inside it. We have the data layer, which is repositories, services, whatever. Then we have this pipe that connects the outside world directly to the data layer. We call this class the exhaust vent.kt, and essentially acts as a backdoor to your code base. Why? Well, if ever you're running low on money, you use that backdoor to sprinkle a couple of bugs back into your app so the client pays you more, or alternatively, you just sell trade secrets to foreign governments. Whatever, it's up to you, however you take that. Domain layer, of course, is in there, which is like use cases and shit. We've got this, which is really important. This is called Big Gun KT, and it took me far too long to make for this diagram. And what this enables your architecture pattern to do is essentially always be packing heat. In the case that the Android operating system comes along and tries to force a little process death on your app, you'll be like, get back there, Android! And thus, your app will live forever. We, of course, have the obvious jokes layer. Let me just show you what that looks like briefly. Hey, Go Man, what software do Jedi use to open their PDF files?
I don't know, Head. Which one?
Adobe One Kenobi. You shouldn't clap that thing, no. Everything was fine. And then a weird, unexpected thing happened. We had a lawsuit layer that sort of appeared out of nowhere and caused us a lot of grief. We were hit with cease and desists and whatnot. So we had to change our architecture pattern just a little bit. We tweaked it to be a bit more simple to start with, make things a bit smaller. We actually added a second Big Gun KT to bolster our physical defenses as well as our legal defenses. And then at that point, the presentation layer was just too big, so we shrunk that down a little bit. And then we were happy with the outputted results. I don't understand why people are laughing. And then the lawsuit layer just sort of went away. Death Star architecture.
Amazing work. Amazing work. But now let's actually get some work done. Async. In general, async work is bad. It's a bit complicated. That's what and that's why we like to use libraries. First, we'll start with some that you might already know, RxJava, which has the great benefit of writing 10 lines of code in 20. This gives you the bragging rights for having a bigger code base, but also makes your PM happy. It can also be combined with Find View by ID for a full nostalgic trip. When you do this, hipster developers write your people on LinkedIn. Then, on the other side, we have Kotlin coroutines, the new way to do this. It has the opposite first benefit of writing 10 lines of code in 5. So now you need new arguments, why this is better, maybe a new PM. And, but something funny about coroutines is that it suspends all fun during work hours. You need to move it to after work, but with RxJava you don't have any fun at all in your life, so we call this a net benefit. Then we moved to some of ours because we thought like those two doesn't cover all the cases. We start with the directed uniform messaging philosophy, which for short dump. And since the other already had some logos, we thought we should also add one. And how it works is you basically create a web view and offload all the work to your web developers. It's making frees up so much time to spend on Twitter. Not only that, but it has a great benefit of having a consistent UI across all platforms without needing any work from you. But by far, the best thing is that there are no more Android bugs. Next, we go to the Pure Async Information Nexus, which is a really cool-ass name. The acronym is even cooler, PAIN. But we spent our creativity on the name, and then we had no for the logo, so we just Googled PAIN, and we came up with this. How this works is actually your app has 0 views. Everything is async, and your users get on their information through notifications. This works wonders with other Android versions where there was nothing against notification, there was less against notification spam. But keep in mind, if you go further back to Android 1, there were no notifications. So you might need to use SMS, calling them, or we like to use pigeons.
Marvelous. Marvelous. We have to talk about testing, everybody. I can hear you internally groan, but please bear with us. I think you'll like what we came up with. Often you'll have, wrong button, often you'll have QAs or testers in your company that use the phrase shift left, essentially meaning that all of the testing work should be shifted left, back up the process to the developers to write more tests, more integration tests, more factory tests, more whatever tests. Gross. We reject this entirely and in fact came up with the radical idea of only manual testing. It's exactly as it sounds. We say no QA, bad, no shift left. We say shift right. You do the work you're paid to do, sucker. Some people really feeling it over there. Yeah. Anyway, we know this is very radical, so we decided to experiment and test it out. We went to one of our clients that runs in sprints, and after sprint 5, we switched to the only manual testing approach, and in fact, deleted all current unit tests. We saw some interesting results. First of all, we saw the time to finish work for a dev started about here, and after sprint 5, when the switch was made, was almost half. That's good. Second thing we noticed, the number of failing unit tests beforehand actually showed a very dangerous upward trend, and after sprint 5 was almost 0. Almost.
Yeah, well.
Some side effects we noted as well. The number of QAs in the company, the number of testers, started at about 18. Then we noticed a very consistent drop-off. They were leaving and quitting. You might say, hang on a minute, Het and Go, man, isn't that bad? I say no. Less testers means they find less bugs, thus less bugs exist in your app. It's a net benefit. Also, less salaries to pay, and we took another page out of the book of our adversaries, Roman and Chet. They say if you've got money, you should invest in management. Management don't generate bugs. Great idea. Again, not certified, just important to point that out. The one last thing we noticed was the number of graphs that were created went from 0 to about 4.
Right, testers. You might have heard of them. They're these peculiar people in your company that always come to you with their issues like, they found a bug, maybe just the app is broken, or maybe they just can't get a Tinder date, and they expect you to solve those problems for them. This puts a lot of mental stress on our developers. It reduces productivity, increases stress. So, we, at the Bad Approach, brought few live demos for us to show you how to actually deter those unwanted peasants. All right, for the first two, I'm going to play the role of the tester, and Head's going to play the role of the developer. Wait. Yeah. Scenario 1. Hi, Head. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
I'm also doing good. Thanks for asking. I was testing the login screen. It seems a bit broken.
Oh, no, look, the thing.
You know, I can see you. You can't keep doing this. 3 sprints behind.
And scene. You can see with a very simple run and hide approach, the tester eventually gets annoyed and leaves you alone.
Scenario 2. Hey, Ed, how's your dog?
What?
Anyway, the settings screen, you worked on it less, right? Then it doesn't work as before. Again, if only those 2 things. Last time you were asleep for 3 days. You need to stop doing this.
And scene. You can see with a very simple pretend to be asleep approach. Again, like before, the tester gets antsy, upset, and walks away.
And now, for the third scenario, we would like a willing volunteer from the audience. Somebody who would like to join us on stage, read from a script, and play the role of the tester.
Anyone?
Show, raise of hands, anyone?
There's one.
Yeah.
The first one. We're like, how are we going to juggle all these people?
Yeah.
Yes, round of applause. There's a microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Marvelous.
What's your name?
Jan.
Everybody, applause for Zian.
Zian.
Okay, this is your script. You read the bolded things that have an arrow to them. We'll be there pair programming.
Hey guys,
Hey, Zian.
how are you guys?
We're good.
I just wanted to say that you are both so handsome, so smart, so funny,
Thank you.
and so modest. Your raw talent is legend, and I humbly worship all that you do.
Thank you. Oh,
Plus, this keynote is the greatest thing I have ever seen. Also, the login screen is fucked. Did you idiots do this?
And scene. Round of applause to Zian, everybody.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Hold on,
wait.
hold on.
Wait, we got a gift for you.
We have a gift.
Here, just cast Silcom coffee inside.
Now get off the stage. Off you go. Chop, chop. Thank you, Zian. Wonderful. Right. Back to seriousness now. The final topic we need to talk about is the one that we've avoided for too long. And it's arguably the most important topic in all of your lives and all of Android development. I know you're thinking it. It is, of course, evil spirits. If you just take a moment and be honest with yourselves, Android development is essentially a form of demonic torture, which generates a lot of evil spirits, which is bad. Just think about it. Which other field of work would constantly give you nice things over time, but then slowly take them back away from you? Which other field of work would give you the demonstrable, horrendous thing of data binding? Which other field of work would force you to wait arbitrarily long amounts of time before seeing the fruits of your own labor? And which field of work? And which field of work would force you to do a weird ritualistic cleansing process every now and then just to continue working? Whatever. And did I mention data binding? Clicks. There we go. Anyway, we at The Bad Approach recommend you try and cleanse your workspace of these evil spirits often. You can do this in a number of ways. You could put Android minifigures on your desk to offset the evilness. You could burn incense. You could put up motivational posters. We've found, though, that one of the best approaches is by putting up photos of loved ones or photos of your family. So me and Goman, we put up photos of our family on our desks, and that really, really helps our souls. We found, though, the best approach for dealing with evil spirits was by creating a religious shrine to the gods of Android development, the great library arbiters and the great code lab tutorial people. So this is what our shrine looks like. We have this on our desks. Let me point out a couple of key features. Front and center, you can see, of course, the great Jakius Wartus.
Praise be the great Warden!
He alone has enough power to offset the evil spirits, but we wanted to add a couple more faces just to ensure that there was no demonic spirits left. So look at this top row. This top row is huge. From right to left, let's point out some of these names. We, of course, have the great Vivo. We have the one that's in all the tutorials. We have the British one, God Save the Queen, and we have the one whose name I can't pronounce. So we have these shrines built and put by our machines, and when connected to a computer running Android Studio, it seems to give off this sort of green glowing energy and cleanses the entire room of evil spirits. You're very welcome. Take it.
It's been a wild ride, hasn't it? So let's summarize what we learned today. By following the bad approach, you will be blessed with the best Play Store reviews. You become so affluent, you can sort online prices high to low. And you'll become so distinguished, you might even get a certificate from us. Oh, Ben, what's happening?
Oh my goodness, what is that? It's bad. Oh. Full circle.
Full circle. Thank you, everyone.
Jesus.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Are we staying on here? I don't know.
Do we have time for questions?
Oh,
God, 5 minutes.
Damn it.
Any questions?
Shoot. Can you purchase the shrine?
Yes, we brought out one with us.
We do have, for one lucky person.
Yeah.
You asked the question. Come up here and get the shrine, baby.
Here.
Can somebody take a photo?
Yeah. No, wait.
Hold it. Somebody, anybody.
Yeah,
There's one.
photo.
Wonderful. Bravo,
Perfect.
bravo. Thank you for that. That was a nice, easy question to start with.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay. Any more?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Do you want a microphone, or are you just going to yell? Oh, God.
So you said the big activity
Oh, God. Yep.
had the repository and then you had a data layer. Which repository? What was that about?
So, sorry, the question was the big activity, like the big class file. Where was our repository layer?
You said that had the repository and everything.
Yeah.
You needed a data layer.
Yeah, let me show you quickly, because I can give you a detailed examination of that. There we go. So yeah, the big activity, this one. Yeah, well, there.
It's all clear, isn't
There.
it?
Do you need glasses? You got your glasses on? Just there.
You can print it.
I mean, yeah, we'll print it off for you. That might help. Okay. Great question, though. Thank you. Oh, God. Here we go.
Codes from the backend server, and it seems that it only increases complexity. Have you considered uploading that or adding those data to the application itself? Are we doing that correctly in our application by having only no backend and no issues, no internal server errors? Is that a good approach or bad approach?
You want to go for it?
That's a good question. Just let me take a sip. You want to also take a sip?
It's a great question. We're really glad you asked it.
Yeah. Next question.
We should.
Oh yeah, there we go. One more
We're actually going. Sorry.
microphone.
Do you hear me? Hi.
yeah.
Hi, I was just wondering, since this bad approach is great and you're great people, have you already reached a level to be afraid of yourselves?
That's a powerful one. Yeah. We are great people. That was a really good, important thing that you
Yeah.
just said. Yeah.
I guess there are always two seats, right?
Yeah. Are you scared of yourself?
No.
No? I'm scared of the
In the
power
mirror.
that we have. It's the fact that we're up on this stage preaching this nonsense to everybody is kind of terrifying, frankly.
We ended up here, right?
Yeah. But to be honest, taking back to the evil spirits thing, again, when we get too scared of ourselves, we just go and we, sacrifice a couple of devices. We just snap them in half, put them in front of the shrine. Yeah.
We gave our shrine away.
Oh, the shrine's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're fucked.
That's it, yeah. Thank you, though. Good question. Oh, Danny wants a question.
One more. Oh, from you.
It's going to be hard, this one. Go, man, you got this, right?
No, come back.
Okay.
Don't go away.
So it's nice that you talk about Android and solved all the problems there, but what do I tell my iOS colleagues?
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, you just burn the store down. In your area, in fact, this is not a plea for everyone to do this. Jokes. You just go to your local Apple stores, you set a small fire, and you just leave. They get really confused, thinking it's like a sort of screensaver thing. By the end of the day, problem's resolved itself. Don't do that, please. That's got to be it, right? One over there.
One more.
Go-man's doing the legwork. Go on,
Oh,
buddy.
there is a microphone there.
Take it to him. Take it to the man. It's leg day, baby.
I can shout. How can we get certified?
Oh, well,
Oh,
that's a really good question. There is a physical component to the certification. There is a one-on-one combat with both of us. It's sort of like the King Lion kind of thing. In order to get certified, there are only 2 certificates in circulation. You have to take us both on this stage right now. You got him, right, Goman? You got him, yeah?
yeah.
All right.
Mine is a bit crumbles.
Is there anything else to certification process?
Not that I know of.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just a fight.
It's still a new process.
Not to the death, though. Just a couple of face punches. Crotch one.
Next question. Oh, okay. Now, next question.
I don't really have a question. It's more of a statement. I'm just here to bless you with my presence.
Nice.
And
Oh, God. We're in
now
trouble.
for the actual question, why is Jake in the center?
Oh,
It's a good question. And I would actually ask a question in response as my answer. Have you ever physically seen the man? And that brain in that noggin, tasty. That's why, it's more of a sort of appearance thing, Out of everyone from that top row, he's probably the best looking. Please keep making tutorials. Oh, God. We're in so much trouble.
just switch to iOS now.
Yeah, thank you for the great talk. I think you guys missed something.
Oh, God.
What's your thoughts about modularization? Have you ever thought about modularizing your single activity approach?
It's a bit hard splitting it, right?
What's modularization?
Oh, I think it's like Lego.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever played with Lego?
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
We still want to buy the Death Star Lego.
Yeah, you saw the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
Cool ass name, right?
Yeah.
Lego, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my
Yeah,
answer.
good. Yeah, we thought so. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's been it. Thank you all.
Was that it?